Following on from our previous video, how to build a website in Kajabi, now I want to show you how to build a landing page in Kajabi. Before I explain the differences, if you don't have Kajabi yet and you're just doing your research first, I'd love to offer you an extended free trial. Instead of the 14 days that Kajabi give you, I can give you an extended 30-day trial. And as a thank you for using our affiliate link, you'll get our 28-day Kajabi Kickstart Challenge, where you'll get to build and sell your first mini course and use a free lead magnet to grow your email list. We've seen many of our customers make sales before the end of that 28 days. And because we're committed to your success, every affiliate of ours is invited into our Kajabi Academy, where we'll support you in our community that includes bi-weekly support calls with me. If you stay on past the trial, we'll continue to support you totally free for as long as you're on Kajabi. Have a look below for the Kajabi Kickstart link. Okay, so what makes a landing page different from a website? Your website pages are your basic pages attached to your website. Your homepage, about page, contact page, login, blog. When you make design changes to fonts and color, it's going to carry across all of those pages and keep it all looking the same and uniform, which we would expect. You don't want to see that jumping around as we're moving from page to page. But with a landing page, they're designed to be standalone pages. The purpose of a landing page is to encourage a call to action. And it might be just simply a download of a free PDF to register for a webinar, or it could be a sales page. In all cases, your visitor only wants one action on the page: to click the button. They don't want to see headers and footers distracting them. They don't want to suddenly go, oh, about page, let's go and have a look about him. You want them to be focused on this sales copy that you've got on your page and one call to action at the bottom. Now let me show you a few examples of pages like this that we've created. Here's a very simple registration page to a webinar. Then a sales page to impact. You can flick through before and afters. We've got videos, text, these bundles, nice graphics. Notice the animation just sliding out of here. Just subtle, but makes a nice difference. A background in there that's locked in. Lots of things that we can do on these pages, all built here in Kajabi. FAQ pages that concertina out like this, and then another similar one here. This is Ecamm Live Academy, another page, similar design, very similar design. You get the idea. But there's no links on this page then heading away to, at the top of the page, we've got no branding taking you anywhere else. It's telling me that it's in preview at the minute, but all we've got is enroll now, signed up on here, and it actually takes you straight across to one of the pop-up carts on here. So there are a few examples, and we're going to start to build one out of our own. So landing pages over here under website. You can actually jump between it. So if you click website pages, all it's going to do is click this one. Landing comes onto here. We've got funnels as well that we can look at. And it's asking you to do their AI assisted version here. And you're just going to put a title and a description, and it's going to create everything for you. I'm really not loving this. I would rather start from scratch and build a page out, or by all means, let's have a look at the templates and start from there. So we did this on the web pages. These are the same templates that carry across. Actually, if you watched the last video about building a website, you'll notice that Prosper was the one that we picked. And so here on a landing page, we get a little preview. If I just scroll that to the side, it'll let me pull this up. I can say, what have we, sorry, I'm not even looking at that. And get educated, financial freedom. So the next 6 months. So we've got a boot camp on here. This is only a mocked up one here, but look, there's a module, 4 different modules across there. It's telling you all about it. There's a deadline because it's starting, and then you've got a payment plan option or a pay in full. So I think this is a really nice layout. I could see this working. So I could just say, get started. I can give it a title. And if you did watch that previous video on building a website, you'll see that this is all looking very similar because it works the same way from this left side. But I'm not going to assume you've watched that. So let me run through it it again for you. So this is your web page on the right, and then down the left side here are all the elements that make up the page on the right. And when I click up here, it's going to jump around and show me different parts. So this is the header up here that shows this logo. I can see that there's a logo in there. We could add extra content in if we wanted. It could have a drop down menu. We're not doing that, remember, on here, or we're not bringing in any of the menus. We could pop a call to action up there. And so, you know, straight away, right at the top of your page, that could sit. So then we've got this text right at the top here with a nice strong, so H1 header at the top here, and then just some copy underneath it. Brings us down to an image. Is this an image or a video? An image. Now, personally, I don't like this. You know, you wouldn't have him sitting back there and then an image over the front of it. But this is interesting. You know, it's a good way to work. They've pulled this in here. Now, this is an image. You can see there it's an image that they've just pulled. So we're not going to be able to recreate that. But this is text. And then we've come down here. So this section. So what I want you to see, and we need to keep clicking back and back to be able to see this list. So we've got this hero section at the top, which is text, video, text. Okay, so this would be a video playing here. So text, video, text, and then this text has got a call to action, presumably. We come out of that and we come into social proof logos. That's this section here. We come below that to here that says there is hope. So you can, as you create these sections, there's text, text, text. So we've got text, 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 and another call to action. And the page continues being built out like this. What they've done here, you can rename any of these sections. So you can see it does make a difference when you're scrolling down that there is hope. They've actually named that. Then we've got an image, introducing, that's this section here. Then we've got modules down here, these multiple. So text, image, feature, image. Okay, text is this. Then we've got an image and a feature, image, feature, and down they come. You're looking on the right at what you've got there. You can actually change the text over there. That's a fairly new feature, being able to do that. And you can also just pull this across if you wanted to work on that left side as well, or make that a bit bigger. But does that make sense, how you're working your way down a page layer by layer as you come down? And anything that you can see here, it's one of the good things about bringing in a template is you can see how they've done it. So this is an image, they've put text in here. This is all within one of these featured cards. So you could add another one if you wanted. Actually, that's probably not the best way to show that. We can take a complete section. So everything in here is editable. We can change it around to suit you, the fonts, the colors, everything else. And if we want to add another section of our own to any of these, let me come right back. So we're out of the about. FAQs was the bottom here. We add a section in, and look, we can do text. So we've seen text up here. This is what a text box will look like. 2 columns of text if we want. I'll come to the bottom and you'll see that it's adding it in as we go. 3 columns of text if we want. Text in a panel, so it has a nice image behind it, and then the text over the front. We can add call to actions. We've got this hero section with nice images in the background. We could have a countdown under that same design. Really, the hero really is, you know, this. It's a fancier way of doing it with having this image in the background made for you. A hero with an image, a hero with audio. Less likely to have this up front on a sales page. Video we've seen at the top. And we can jig these around. So if we were to add this in, what you'll find then as we get inside this, look, we've got text and video. And so I can work away on this text, and then I've got a video at the side. If I prefer the video in front, I just drag it like that. And now the video's on the left, text on the right. If I want the video to be smaller, I can pull that down. So what we do here is this, your page is laid out as 12 columns. And so as you're laying things out like these, this text up here, for instance, where is it, that didn't come all the way to the edge. When we look up here, it's only a width of 6 of the 12 columns. Now, if I push that out to 12, well, it's bullet points, so they're not going to come all the way across. But you can see it looks very different to have it going side to side across the web page. Much nicer to bring that in and have it at 6 columns in the middle. This one here, you can see, is a little wider, so that goes out to 8 columns. Down here, we've got an image that is 5, and we've got a text box that is 5. So that's 1 column, if you like, at either side of that. So again, it's not pushing it right to the edge. So we're using this, you get used to this method of deciding what the width is by these columns. So the image there is 6 wide, the text I can guess is 6 wide. Again, we could just change this around. If I push more than 12, so 6 and 7 is going to be 13, it'll force it to do this and put the text above rather than to the side there. Well, we were just playing at the bottom here, weren't we? Well, you can see when there, actually, that's a case where maybe the image only needs to be small. That's only 3 wide, but the text to the side of it is 7. So we're only covering 10 in total. We've still brought ourselves in, so we're not going right to the edge of the page. Hopefully this makes sense. And then down here, so you can notice that you've got that there's more of a border as you come down the page here, and then this one here, and it breaks it up well by doing it, is really coming right out. This is a 6 and 6, filling out the width of that. You've got these columns. So these blocks here, this is what I started saying, 4, 8, and 12. You're going to divide that out. If you wanted to take that to 3, let's click in them, and 3, and 3, then we could add a 4th one and pop that in on the side. Or we don't need to, it's just brought everything in. Now I can just do a quick undo on here. I do like that Kajabi have made it easier to undo things. So yeah, as we were down here, you know, we can decide on this as to however we want. We don't actually need to go into this because you've just seen me doing it higher up. But this is how we build out these pages. So when I was just showing you that eCam page, let me just walk you down that one. So in this hero section, we've got image, although image is actually turned off right now. Then we've got text and a call to action. So that's my text box. That's a call to action. Then as I come back from hero, if you're moving things around, so we know that with this eCam Academy, at certain times of the year, we open the doors and we want it to look different. Well, rather than having to redo the page, we can just hide sections, turn that little icon off, and it'll change. So I can have a different one when we'll open, and then I can turn this area off, and the same down here. You know, the next one starts in and there's a countdown timer. Yeah, it's very different, but that means that I can just simply say, hide that without deleting it. And then I know that I can bring that back in next time we're open. So this one says, let's take a look. That's this gray area. Questions is this section that we've called. And within here, we've got who, which is this text. We've got a video sitting over here. Okay, so it's just like you saw me demonstrating there. This is a section with a blue background and a video. And so if we want to change this background within this section, we just come down to background, and we can change the background color, and it will change like that. This section here has got an image in the background, but we've said to fix the background image. So it does this parallax effect and leaves that there. But this is just an image with a transparent background, text box on the side. Okay. And in this case, because we wanted to force these in, we've actually created text boxes on the side here, or code boxes with nothing in them, just so that we can say, call that 3, and then we can have more control over this. That's just 2. So we're up to 5. We've got another 6 there, and then we've got a single block on the end as well. So we've filled out our 12 columns in that way. So if I wanted to shift everything 1 column to the side, we'd take 1 off, we'd add 1 to the other end. It's just easy because if we didn't need to do this, because we're creating a list, if we don't add up to the 12, it'll bring something from the row below up to this one. You can, with one item, say force to stay on its own row, but with 2 items, you can't do it. So that's why we've had to do it this way around. Okay. So there you go. Hopefully that's a good walkthrough and an example there. This is something we're pulling in. This is a tool that we use that does live testimonials for us. So this is just a custom code and an example of how you do that. So we're just bringing this in from Bonjoro, and it drops it in here and makes it look like this. So that's how you're editing the actual page over here. We do have settings as well. You can put a favicon in. So like Kajabi, you've got this little symbol at the top. That's a favicon. Style guide, you can change the page background color. You could have a primary color. You could have a button color. So instead of, I mean, you can change them all individually anyway, but if you want to change it all the way across this page, then we would change it around up there as the default settings. Also, your fonts, you would change up here. So that's a body font. This is a heading font. The font colors, the different sizes of those heading fonts, and for mobile as well. And I didn't say on this one, we did it when we were doing the web pages, but as we're going through this and looking down our page, building it, while we're live, while we're in real time building out this page, we can see what it looks like on a phone as well. And if we want to, if you think that an area or a section you don't want on mobile, or it doesn't quite come through the same way, maybe on one of these, like these sort of, actually that works fine on here, but when we've done it in the past and we've got those 3 prices side by side, doesn't work the same on a phone. So you can actually come across to that section. And so like pricing in here, if we didn't like this, we could turn this section off altogether. So we could say mobile layout, hide this section. So it's still here on the desktop version, but when we get up to the mobile version, it's disappeared. And then what we would do really for that is we would create an alternative. So like I did at the top of that Ecamm page, where we can hide areas, we can do the same type of thing with mobile, and we can say, right, well, if we're not going to have this section on mobile, then let's create another one that sits below it, and that will only be for mobile and not for desktop. So one or the other will be visible. And then what else have we got in those? Design tools, there's just a few ways that you can put grids across and guides along there as well. And if you do want to put some custom code in for the page, CSS code, like we've put there, some fonts in that. So there's some code that's been put into this one that's got some bullets and things that aren't default. Maybe it's these ticks. So if you know your way around coding and want to be able to do that, then you can drop that in and that will apply to your page as well. And with these sections as well, you can just pick them up and move them around. If you decide that, where are we, introducing there, you wanted that to sit above this image, you can just pick it up and drag it up there, and away it goes. If you like one and you think the design of that's really nice and you'd like it lower down on your page, then you can duplicate it. Yeah, so hopefully you can see that Kajabi is more than capable of giving you powerful landing pages. You don't need to be using other tools. Plus, by keeping everything on the same platform, the link in between sales page and emails and courses is so much smoother, and you have one point of contact if you've got any queries or concerns about this. Remember, if you haven't signed up for Kajabi yet, please use our link below so we can get you set on our Kajabi Kickstart course and support you in our community and give you that extended 30-day trial. Okay, so let's head over to the next video in this series, which is headers and footers. There's a few things you're going to need to know. Alternatively, if you haven't watched any of these videos in this playlist, why don't you head right back to the start and watch through those? And be sure to click and subscribe while you're here.